This is Kendra.
And this is Brianna. Welcome to Camp Comparisons,
where she's in one camp and I'm in the other. All right, in the Percy Jackson news, the only thing I saw was there was some picture on Instagram in the official Percy site that had the picture of the Poseidon cabin door. I believe it is. It was a close-up of something. That's what it looked like. And it said, We're back at camp.
It makes sense.
So, yeah, everybody who was posting that and forwarding it was saying oh, yay, they're filming now. Maybe we'll get a trailer soon.
If they're already filming, I don't understand how we haven't gotten a Tyson reveal or any other of the new characters.
Yeah, it's really weird. Because we should
show us who's playing these characters.
I know. That's weird. I didn't even think about that, and now I'm confused, and now I'm wondering if maybe...
It's rude.
But what if that Welcome to Cap... Maybe we were just guessing so much more out of that picture than what's really happening.
What do you mean? Shouldn't that mean that they're filming?
Yeah, I
that's
think
the
so.
only thing that would mean.
But that's weird because you can't start filming without Tyson.
No, literally
from practically
scene. Literally,
it is scene one. Yeah. All right, people, we will see.
Yeah.
Let's hope for a Tyson reveal soon.
Yeah. Please.
Okay, I don't have any new reviews. I'm sorry, unless I missed them. I didn't see any new ones.
All right.
Okay,
our spoiler warning. We spoil all of this book, which means all of this season. We talk about, the ending where Luke's the bad guy, etc. But
if you don't know that Luke's the bad guy, please stop the podcast and read the book. Okay.
Yeah. Consume any content, really. If we do spoil major things of the 4 books or the next series after this series, we will do a proper spoiler.
Nice. Okay, good. Well, last episode of our podcast, we started episode 7 of the TV series, and we covered the whole waterbed scene.
Yep.
And the first flashback.
The
waterbed scene and entering the underworld.
Yeah.
The first flashback, and then the first real underworld scene where they get to the River Styx, I guess.
The Cerberus scene.
Yeah, the Cerberus scene. There you go. And that's literally as far we made it. We made it just those 3 scenes.
Yep. Well, that seems on board.
Normal.
Yeah. Especially at the beginning of an episode, we always have the most to say because we're talking about the whole kind episode, of the whole episode, yeah, and how we didn't like it. So
in this case, we really didn't.
Yeah. Okay. So while editing the last podcast, when I was looking over the argument of whether or not Percy already knew about the waterbeds because of Hermes, one of the clues that I was thinking was definitely proof that Hermes told them was that in the letter that Annabeth read, mumbled a bit of the...
she kind of summarized the letter and didn't really say what it said, yeah.
Right. She says magic word.
Yeah.
And I remember from the book, there is literally a magic word that activates the straps of the bed. It's Eros?
Ergo. E-R-G-O. That's what he
Eros
says,
is
yeah.
One of the minor gods, I think.
Yeah.
Ergo, yeah. And it, activates the straps, and then, that's how he traps you. So I was like, well, obviously, that's the magic word, proof right there that Hermes told them. But then, in the scene, they don't say a magic word.
They just throw him on and
pushes
he just gets,
him, the blanket, it's not even straps, the blanket just, wraps around him. So... what is the magic word? They don't need a magic word to enter the underworld. I checked that. I was like, maybe there's a magic word to enter the underworld. No. There's no magic word anywhere.
You think maybe it's a deleted scene?
Not to make the car activate.
Yeah.
So there has to be a deleted scene.
Yeah, why else would they say that? That's weird.
There's no magic word in any of these scenarios. So why did Hermes write that in the note? I think it had to have been in reference to Ergo.
And if it was, then that would definitely indicate that he told them about the...
Yeah. Also, another thing... it was just random, but he said that the map was in the glove box, which I kind of just missed before. It must have been a map to Krusty's was in the glove box.
Oh.
Is that interesting? Anyways,
I missed that too. Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting because they didn't show up at Krusty's, right? They showed up on the beach in the middle of the night.
Oh, true. So they must have taken the map with them.
The next morning, well, when you go to Krusty's, it's definitely light outside. What did they do that entire time? Try to find Krusty's? Maybe they don't know how to read a map.
I think it was late, and they were tired, and they slept in the taxi.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense, too. But they're on such a time crunch. But whatever, it's fine. They're tired.
At that point, they were just told that the solstice is over.
But wasn't it daytime when they arrived in the Okay, I have many questions now. It was daytime when they arrived at the Lotus Casino, which means they had just slept, to be fair, probably a really crappy night in a truck, but they had just slept. They arrived
when
midday.
they were leaving, they noticed the sun was going down.
Right, but they had only been there for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not like they'd actually lived 2 days and hadn't slept in 2 days.
Yep.
So then when they come out and it's nighttime, shouldn't they still have a bunch of energy? Maybe Grover was like, listen, I'm not going to the underworld at nighttime.
Like, that's what I would say. Like, that's creepy enough. We're going there.
It's like, there's no
I don't know if they had energy or not. All I know is that they arrived at the beach and it was dark. And when they got to Krusty's, it was like definitely bright morning, like morning.
Like morning. So we can just, maybe it was like 4:30 in the morning when they got to the beach, and then maybe it did take them with like morning LA traffic a while to get to Krusty's. I mean, they're at Santa Monica, so they're not even.
I say they went to sleep. I say that let's get a good night's sleep before we hit the underworld.
But they just slept like half a day ago. But to be fair, again, they were in a like truck full of gross animals, so maybe they really did not sleep well, and they might have been exhausted.
Well, if I were them, I would have slept.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that until we got into this whole thing.
Yeah.
But the point is, magic word disappeared. We don't know what that's about. We have questions.
Maybe it was so magic that you couldn't even hear it. You had to think it.
Yeah. Really well explained.
Yeah, exactly.
Tied that right up.
That's funny. Okay, good. So our first scene that we're going to start, or we start it here, is this flashback, the second flashback. Right. Which is, I believe it starts with like Percy, and then I didn't have any notes about this flashback because I wrote I'm not on board. 3 lines. It says, flashback time, homeschooling, got to make this work. That summarizes the entire scene. Well, we do. So we have this guy, this principal, which we don't know what school this is. Like we
don't get the name.
No, and we don't know. Like it's not Yancey because Yancey is when he's 11 or 12. Like he was only there for a year at every school. So he's obviously much younger or less. And in fact, it might not even be the same school that she's like talking to him about in the next flashback.
I really think it is.
You think it's all the same time period?
I think so.
Okay. He looks young enough, so. But they could have also went to a different school because that stupid principal was being a stupid principal.
But at the end of the scene, Sally's like, listen, we're going to work this out. Okay. And I like to believe that she used her amazing Sally powers and really did work it out with this principal and convince him, like, it's okay for my son to have an imagination. You know, you're saying you can't reject him, but people have imaginary friends all the time. You're saying all these imaginary friends, they're seeing things? No, it's just the imagination of a kid. I promise you won't go on the gymnasium roof.
Yeah. But think about it. This principal says...
It's ridiculous.
We have something disturbing. He drew a picture of...
A Pegasus.
Pegasus. Okay. Right. Because that's so ridiculous, like beyond ridiculous, do you wonder if maybe some monsters or a monster was, like or kind of... Or he's the monster. You know what I mean? Like...
I wonder if... Yeah.
Or God was whispering in his ear and he didn't realize it, and his dreams don't accept the boy. I don't know.
Like Poseidon's wife is being salty or something.
I mean, she is salty.
She probably lives in the
ocean, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he says, like, obviously it's not about the picture. It's the fact that, 1, he was caught on the gymnasium roof, which is just, like, a dangerous place to be. And 2, that he says he actually saw this. Again, when I actually saw this thing, like, again, it's a 7-year-old. Like, you're gonna take that. Like, he could just be lying.
I still think it's, like, way over dramatic for that principal to be like, yeah, we can't take him because of that.
Yeah. Or the teacher who called him, like, really over dramatized the situation.
Maybe they were the monster.
Well, probably. Like, that. See, like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like that principal specifically is a monster because a monster would want him to stay there. So that they could kill him and eat him or whatever.
Well, see, I feel like in the beginning, the monsters just kept an eye on him.
No, they tried to take him. There was, like, remember that man on the playground?
Tried to take him. Yeah. No, but I'm wondering, I feel like because remember, it wasn't until you got to a certain age that you really started attracting the monsters. I don't know.
Yes.
I feel like some could just be keeping an eye on him because they know he's Poseidon's son.
Or they're wondering, like they're wondering, is this?
Yeah, because he doesn't quite smell demigodish enough.
Yeah, like they get like a little bit of a vibe.
We should really interview a monster sometime.
Yeah, I have
how it really
questions.
Works. We have questions. We want to talk about this smelling thing because this whole like way the TV show did it is like it doesn't make sense. Okay.
Yeah, we need the real word.
We need to know what really happened.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he says something about, like, you should homeschool your child, which, like, there's nothing wrong. I mean, homeschooling is great and wonderful. But you don't tell a mother who is a single, basically
if she had that as an option, I mean, I feel like, well, whatever.
No, I think she would have totally done that if she could.
There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
It's not like it's more dangerous to be around her. She's just immortal.
Especially if he's around Smelly Gabe, because Smelly Gabe smells so much they couldn't smell him.
Right.
Yeah, so it seemed a little condescending the way he did that. Again, there's nothing wrong with homeschooling, but she has to be making money, and she can't just leave a 7-year-old child home alone.
Right.
Yeah. So that's basically that flashback. And we don't really have much more to say about that.
I think that she says the right things and
she's fighting for her son. Yeah.
And you can see, there's a part where you can see, it kind of sets up the next scene. You can see Percy's face. He's clearly hearing this conversation. And I think the homeschooling thing got to him in a different way than we take it. We take it like, excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
but he was like,
well, she doesn't want to be with me.
Why wouldn't she homeschool me? Yeah. Clearly she doesn't want to be with me. Yeah. So that was a little rough.
That's true. It does set up the next flashback. So that takes us to the next scene, which is...
the Fields of Asphodel, kind of.
Their version of the Fields of Asphodel.
So I had to, actually look this up.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't want to do another thing where I'm like, this is absolutely not based in any Greek mythology. And then it's like, okay, technically there's one story. Mm-hmm. So I looked up, what are the Fields of Asphodel? What is Asphodel?
Yeah.
Because, she says, Annabeth says this line, they're bound here. The souls are bound here by regret. I know we're getting ahead a little bit, because first they talk about who's going to stay. Percy says he's going to stay.
Yeah, they have a whole argument.
He gives Grover a pearl. It's a kind of a sweet moment. And then it's like, jump scare.
Yeah.
And then Annabeth lifts up the dress, which is, creepy, but...
Come on.
And then finds out it looks like a tree underneath. So she explains how souls are bound by regret. Things that they wanted to do that they didn't do, or things that they... things that they wanted to do they didn't do, or things that they did do that they didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's not what Asphodel, that's not what the Fields of Asphodel represents. There's nothing about regret in any part of this mythology. So, yeah, in some versions, they don't even mention that it's a place where souls go, particularly. They just say it's a place in between the fires of Tartarus, and, it's just, it is a location in Tartarus. Or, sorry, in Hades. There was a mention of Achilles, I think. Oh my gosh. I think it was Achilles. It was one of the, famous Greek heroes, being, the last we saw of him was him, fading into the Fields of Asphodel. Mm-hmm. So there was that. And then the only other things is exactly what we hear from the books, which is, it's where the souls go. It's kind of like a pit of, just, general kind of sadness. It's not Elysium, and it's not, the pits of Tartarus. It's just kind of souls are there.
Well, Tartarus is where the monsters are, but it's the other...
Rick.
Oh.
But they also talk about how Tartarus is basically, the hell of Hades. It is where the torturing
So where
happens.
all that torturing stuff is happening, because you hear about it.
That's not how it is in these books. But
yeah,
just based on, what I read, some people say that's what Tartarus is.
Right.
And some don't mention it, because I wasn't looking up Tartarus. But anyways, so yeah, it's what it is in the books. It's just a field full of kind of depressed souls. They're not being tortured, but they're not happy. Okay. They're there. They're just there, having a not great time. We also learn in Percy Jackson that they eventually forget even who they are, their names, anything about themselves. Yeah. They just kind of fade into this shell of a former human soul kind of thing.
Right.
So anyways, this regret thing coming out of nowhere. Also, Annabeth gets trapped, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, what could you possibly have to regret? Great question. What is this referencing? This regret? Because clearly, the reason why they have changed the mythology
is for this.
I know. I don't understand what they're referencing.
Is she racked my brain. And I'm like,
Thalia died?
Of all the people that should be...
It was her fault. I know she thinks it's her fault because that's the whole Cyclops thing.
It? But that much? Percy and Grover's got to have worse regrets than
maybe
Annabeth.
Not Grover.
Grover was the protector.
You know what? Yeah, Grover. You're right. Or is she regretting leaving home? But that's never a thing in the book. She never regretted running away.
No.
Even when she tries to patch stuff up with her dad, she still is never like, oh, I wish I'd stayed. Ever.
Yeah, I'm very confused about this scene because also, what did it do for the show to have her disappear?
So that's also what I said. I was like
why?
Maybe she needed to go to camp, and be there before them. And then I remembered, no, because she's on the beach scene with Ares. This is so confusing.
She just sits on the beach and waits for them to come back.
I mean, it wasn't that much longer later that they show up.
Yeah, why was she not there? There could have been so many great comebacks from her when talking to Hades. We missed that.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, how did it, I feel like it took away from the story to have her gone. Why was she not there? And for what reason? I just don't, whatever they were trying to share with us, I missed it. I just don't see it. Because...
Is there going to be a later time?
Are we going to get flashbacks about Annabeth next season?
Yeah. Is there going to be a later time where we're going to hear about all her regrets?
I want to know. I want to know what this specific thing is in reference to.
I know. I had this exact... I was like... I just wrote here, let's ask the audience as a question. So maybe at the end, if we don't have... Whatever, we can just mention that, but...
Yeah, what do you think
Why?
Biggest regret is?
Why?
It just... I just couldn't find what it added in any way.
I know, it was very confusing to me.
And it's another thing where I feel like we're missing something that's supposed to be obvious to the audience.
Did she regret sending that head back to her mom so badly because her mom is mad at her?
I feel like it's supposed to be the same thing that was in line with the Hermes going out to touch her and remind her. But see, that made me think. I mean, that thing with Hermes, I thought was definitely her childhood and her dad.
Right, because we're talking about that type of thing.
Right, but I just don't see what she would have regretted not leaving earlier. I just don't... what is such a big regret in that?
Not getting rid of her stepmom when she first arrived before she had kids?
Exactly. Well, I think... Oh, yeah, no. Yeah,
because they had kids afterwards.
They had kids together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't...
Twins,
Mm-hmm. It was twin boys.
Twin boys, yeah.
I don't know.
I know. I'm really wondering if it's going to come around.
And she is going to... I mean, just enough that she does regret leaving and she wishes... that she does miss her family and she wishes she...
Maybe they feel like she should, we're showing kids this. They should be.
They should not run away from home,
and they should regret it. I mean, maybe I would be okay with that.
It would be
that. I would be okay with. But if they
don't
come up with a whole but if they come up with a whole nother dramatic regret in her past in her life that we haven't come across yet, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if I like that.
I wouldn't like that.
I would be okay with her regretting leaving her family because she does reconnect and it does go well. I mean, there's a. Yeah,
it does work out in the end with her and her family. So, but I feel like she maybe regretted it after, when things did work out, and she maybe
but
could
not
look
at this
back.
time.
But at this time, no, she's like, thank God I'm out of there.
Yeah,
hate those people.
Yeah, for sure.
She's not having a good time,
and she wasn't treated great. When you do get a few stories of it, her stepmom.
We did talk about how from Annabeth's point of view, maybe it was a little bit. Not that things were good, but. Whatever. Anyways, we've talked in the past about how, because it's from her point of view, we can only take it from whatever a 7-year-old would think of things.
Yeah.
But she definitely wasn't having a fun time. Otherwise, she wouldn't have run away. So.
No, exactly. Okay, good. Well, we don't know the answers to that. However, I would like to refer to the book now and just go over. So, in the book, we're told that, if you go straight to Asphodel, without going through the judge line, right?
Yeah.
That's why people who don't want to risk judgment from the court because they don't know if they might get in trouble. So the idea is you either go if you did nothing special, you go to Asphodel. If you did something that could be a punishment, I don't know if it says what it's called, but you get special punishments basically.
Yeah,
or
I don't think they
you go to
part.
Elysium.
I wonder if it is
Elysium.
So you know how Tartarus there are the deepest pits of Tartarus, like when they are almost pulled into one, that's literally a pit.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if Tartarus slopes. You know what I mean? There's
mm-hmm.
the deep parts, but then it slopes up to meet the rest of Hades. I wonder if it's right in that area is where the punishments happen, right where it comes up and meets the rest. See,
they don't
Hades.
ever use that word except for to describe where the monsters are. Here they just said sometimes they look at life and decide that person needs a special reward. The fields of Elysium.
Yeah.
And sometimes they decide on punishment. That's all they say.
Yeah.
But most people, well, they just lived. Nothing special, good or bad. So they go to the asphodel fields. That's honestly, I would...
feels like a punishment in itself.
100%. I would be like, come on. Like, you didn't do anything bad.
Yeah, there has to be a more medium place. Like, in the good place, they find the medium place.
Yeah.
There has to be a medium
I've never
place.
seen that, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then he says, then Percy says, and do what? And Grover says, imagine standing in a wheat field in Kansas forever. And that's like how he describes it. And then when they get there, he makes that comment that you mentioned earlier, or maybe it was in the last one. It says, imagine the largest concert crowd you've ever seen, a football field packed with 1 million fans. Now imagine a field of 1 million times that big, packed with people, and imagine the electricity had gone out and there's no noise, no light, no beach ball bouncing around over the crowd. Something tragic has happened backstage. Whispering masses of people are just milling around in the shadows, waiting for the concert that will never start.
Right.
And that's his description of the fields of Asphodel.
It definitely doesn't seem fun. Like,
no, it doesn't. But it's crowded and people, and these guys are moving around. Now it does say there's trees growing in clumps here and there.
Yeah, but the trees aren't people.
Nope, they're not people.
They're just.
And it does say
trees.
the cavern ceiling was so high above it looked almost like storm clouds, but except it was actually they could see stalactites.
Yeah.
Stalactites. So we do get the stalactites when they show that scene with the sand. You can see it. You can't see it with the trees.
They're not like.
Not the way
they don't look normal though. They look like they're made out of crystal or whatever.
Oh, that's true.
Instead of like actual.
Yeah, this one says in the field there's actually like some had fallen and down, and like there were like fallen stalactites around the place, and
that's interesting because we know how stalactites are formed, so that means that there's like a slow drip in Hades. Like above the fields of Asphodel, there's a slow drip
from the it's all from the earth,
forming.
You know.
Yeah, I guess it's coming down from the earth. That would make enough sense to me. There is a sea nearby. I mean, they come up through the water, so yeah. But I just think that's really funny.
Yeah, so they're just saying there's just tons of these people just around, and they're kind of hard to look at. Like if you look at them directly, you can't really see them, but if you look at them on the side of your eye, then they come below clear, and they just look like either mad or confused. Yeah. And you can't really talk to them. They're not the words, they just chatter basically. Yeah. And he says they're not scary, they're just sad, which, you know, it is sad.
Yeah. That's how most ghosts are. Not really scary, just sad.
Yeah, so that is how it's done in the book, which is closer to a lot of how they explain Asphodel. Yeah. In the myths. So
apparently.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then, so then he's talking about so they talk about the fields of Asphodel, and then he says the fields of punishment. So that's the name.
So they're just called the fields of punishment.
I thought there was a name, but I wasn't sure. Yeah. Exactly. And then there's the Isle of the Blessed, which is
that's the one.
Elysium?
Yeah, so that's what we talked about that briefly. That's when we talked about
the one where if you choose to be reborn 3 times. Yeah. And each time you achieve
being a hero.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So you'd have to be a hero 3 lifetimes in a row. Mm-hmm. And then you go to what is it, the Blessed? What is it called?
The Isles of the Blessed.
Nice, yeah. And that's like I don't know. They say that they kind of see in the distance, but you don't really know like what kind of perks you get at Elysium, but you imagine you get double the perks at the Fields of the Blessed. Yeah,
all they say about Elysium is it's beautiful houses from every time period in history. Silver and gold flowers bloomed on the lawns. You can hear laughter and smell barbecue cooking. So it just sounds like a nice place to live.
It's like what you would imagine heaven would be. You know, the house is any house you'd want, right, from any time period. So it's like your dream house. Yeah. Gold flowers and, you know, rainbows and happiness.
Happiness, yeah.
So I was blessed. I just feel like, personally, if I died a hero and was told you can go to Elysium, I would never try 2 more times. Not because I wouldn't be confident that I could be a hero 2 more times, but
I think you're supposed to forget everything.
It's so much more lonely. Yeah. Like I feel like the Isle of Bless has like 5 people, where Elysium has like, you know, like 100, 200, like whatever. I'm just saying like random numbers, but like, wouldn't it be more fun to go to heaven and have like all these people that you get to, I guess, you know, it depends on how you are as a person if you want.
Well, see, these are like small islands, like a vacation resort in the Bahamas. So if that's your ideal thing, you know, like I just want to be in a vacation resort in the Bahamas. It says 3 small islands. So those were the Isles of the Blessed. So there's 3 small islands. So there's going to be more people. But I'm with you. I would be like, you know what? I lived a long and hard life. I made it all the way here.
Elysium sounds
Check out these
great.
great gold and silver flowers. The smell of barbecue is delicious. I'm saying.
Maybe we're just not ambitious enough.
We probably wouldn't have made it there in the first place.
You can go there just from being feeding the poor. Like, you can go to Elysium. Okay,
well then fine, I feed the poor.
If you feel like I've done literally no things wrong in my life.
Yeah.
And in my free time with my free money and effort, I, did charitable things. I think that's enough to make it to Elysium.
Fine, so we will make it to Elysium because we both do a lot of charity.
I don't know if I'd say I've never done anything bad in my life.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I don't know about you.
But, ask
maybe
me
you'll
again in
outweigh
70
it.
Years.
Just don't die right now. You
Yeah,
gotta do,
maybe not right now.
Do at least 20 more years of all this wonderful charity work you've been doing, and maybe it'll outweigh it enough.
Exactly,
Okay? There
yeah.
you go.
Anyways.
We won't talk about her teenager life. All right. So the book and the TV show are completely different, and I'm not particularly interested in the Asphodel. I would have been very happy to see the one that they described in the books.
Yeah, I feel like if it was very clear to us the reason why they did this, we would have more
of an idea
of just more of an opinion on the change, because it's not like I'm really attached to this field of Asphodel in the book. Although, I think that description of how it is like a very well-written description. Like, I feel like I can really understand how it is.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm attached to. Like, I don't really care if it's different. I just don't get why. I feel like if I understood why, I'd feel different.
Yeah, I agree. I wish I could understand why on every change, because I feel like if I actually spoke to someone who explained it to me, I also would be okay with more of them.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of them, but... so at the end of this, she's like, go... Cerberus is coming. And she says, I'm going to distract him. She's stuck to the ground.
I think the distraction is like the burst of light of her disappearing. Like, I think she waited for like the last minute to disappear. I mean, that would be distracting.
So maybe she's waiting for the Cerberus.
Have you seen those videos where they hold up the blanket and then they drop it and they're gone?
And the dogs
go crazy for that.
So you think that she waited until he saw her and then she disappeared, so he'd be like,
yeah, he's like,
maybe they all left.
Sniffed around.
I was so confused by that. I was like, I don't know how you're going to distract him.
I genuinely think that's all she meant. Because didn't they see a burst of light?
Yeah, or there was there was something. It was a sound, a light. Yeah, I think it was light. You could definitely tell that she used the...
Yeah.
I almost said the oyster. The pearl.
So they say this line...
Where so they get away. In that scene? No, okay, so they arrive at the sand.
They run away, and now it's just Grover and Percy. Annabeth's gone. That's it. Bye-bye, Annabeth.
So have we kind of switched scenes where now they're seeing all the sand?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And they say this line that, again, is another thing where, I can't tell what they're alluding to. I feel like they're trying to communicate something specific with this line.
I hope it's the one I wrote down because I do have the answer.
The one about, I just said I feel like they allude to Cerberus not chasing them because he was in on the plan. They're so weird. He chased us this whole way and then just stopped all of a sudden. I was like,
so okay. here's my what I kind of figured out.
Yeah.
So first of all, when you suddenly see him and them two, both hymns, walking, and it's like the sand, you can realize that it looks very similar to a lot of the dream landscapes.
That is so true.
Right? And it's weird, and they're kind of wait, what happened to so somehow they changed suddenly from the fields of Asphodel to this area of sand. So we don't know. They ran for a while, and suddenly they find themselves there, right? And they're what happened? What happened is they are this close to the freaking pit of Tartarus, and Cerberus is not getting that close.
Oh, okay. So
so they're
in on the plan. You're supposed to understand he's scared.
Yeah, he's just they got that far.
Yeah,
he's fine. They're not coming back. Yeah. So they get really close to that, and suddenly you see, Grover walking faster, walking away.
When you're running or walking with someone, someone's leading the direction you're going, unless they really just ran straight.
I think that Grover was leading the direction.
Grover was kind of unconsciously leading them in that direction.
Yeah. I really had that thought, when they were running, his shoes just kind of moved him that way, and he kind of just enough, and he kind of just went with it because
Percy just followed.
Yeah.
Because they're together.
Yeah, I really think so. Because they end up in this place, it's the dream landscape, and suddenly...
Which is so weird, because... Whatever, I guess he chose, the spot he would get out of Tartarus, because that's... So. A sandy landscape isn't what Tartarus looks like.
No. In fact, in the book, it's all rocky.
Sandy thing. Yeah.
In the book, it's very rocky, and it's kind of closed in, almost tunnel-like, or something.
Something like that.
Not really tunnel, but yeah, it's more closed in, and it's very covered... rocks all over the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was always confused why
Gravel.
the dream was showing the sand all the time. So I guess
they decided there's sand around
sense
this pit.
more, kind of. Yeah. I don't know.
Totally. So yeah, so suddenly it's, like they said, they were like, what the heck, they didn't follow us. And then suddenly his shoes pull him towards that.
Right.
And then in this scene, Percy pulls out his sword and stops himself. Smart. Especially because it's sand.
Yeah, well, before his sword, I remember he did pull out his sword, but it just does nothing.
No, he doesn't, not in this scene. He doesn't pull out his
Really?
sword.
They're just grabbing at the rocks.
Yeah. Well, when Grover's flying, Annabeth is like, "Stop, Grover." He's like, "I'm not doing this on purpose." She said, "Stop messing around."
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "I'm not doing this on purpose," and he's like yelling, "Maya, 911, help!" Because it's funny. And then they're trying to grab him, so she yells, "Untie the shoes," and he tries to sit up to untie his shoes. Doesn't work,
It's like
because he's like literally being like knocked over on these rocks and stuff.
Right.
So then eventually what saved him is the first shoe came off. It like came off because his
fake foot.
Yeah. And then it got
slowed down
slower. I think, oh yeah, he was like yelling. Percy was yelling to hold on to something, and he was like trying to grab like the rocks and stuff. But then when it got slower, they grabbed him. Yeah.
They caught up to him and they could finally grab him.
Oh yeah. So he was like 10 feet from the edge of the pit when they caught him, started hauling him up, and eventually the other shoe tugs off him, circles around angrily, kicks their head, and then flies off into the hole.
I always think that's so funny.
So funny. I would have loved to see that. That would have been hilarious.
I know. I almost, like, this time when I was watching it, I was like, wait, I can't remember if they kicked him or not. Because they do, like, fly off his feet, and I was like, how fun it would be if one of them just, like, came around, kicked him in the head, and then left.
Or, like, stuck out a tongue. No. Yeah, so there's no opening up his sword at all during this whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyways, but that's what he did in that case, and we don't have Annabeth
to say, stop, Grover.
Yeah. Or to try to give him all this advice and stuff. But they do, like, right before they grab him, Percy says, "Oh my gosh, look." And Annabeth's like, "I know, it's the place you described in your dream." So they figuring out that, this is the dream.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Because he saw that pit multiple times, but there's no pit in his dreams.
Yeah.
There's just sand.
Yeah.
But he saw that pit multiple times and was almost pulled into it, blah, blah, blah.
But he doesn't realize it, does he? In the show, he doesn't say, like, "Oh, this is the pit in my dreams."
No, because he never saw a pit in his dreams. He only saw sand.
No, there's a time when it looks like it's all crumbling down, and he starts running away. It's like crumbling and falling into the pit.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just one of the scenes, but at least that's what I thought it was, the pit, so I'm not sure. But on this case, you do hear like this rumbling sound in the pit. It's like Kronos being upset. Yeah,
so the first time I watched this, I thought when they said, "What was that?" I thought that's what they were referring to.
Oh.
I had to like go back and like be like, hold on. It has to be related to the bolt, because it's like, what was that? And then he unzips his backpack.
It was the clink.
It was as if they're like backing away from the pit. And maybe that's supposed to allude to the fact, or maybe they're just scared. But in the book, they're 10 feet away from the pit, and all of a sudden it's like the pit took a deep breath, and it's like pulling. There's wind that starts like pulling them towards the pit, and they have to like get away from the wind.
Okay.
Right?
A cold blast of wind pulled at our backs as if the entire pit was inhaling.
Right.
For a terrifying moment, I lost ground, my feet slipping on the gravel. If we had been any closer to the edge, we would have been sucked in.
Right. So,
yeah.
Anyways,
so they were hearing like noises in the pit, and they're like, "What the heck?" And that's when Annabeth is like, "It's Tartarus."
Right. Which they would hear lots of noises because all the monsters are there.
Yeah, and that's when he uncaps Anaclusmos. Riptide. Please, let's just stick with that. That's what it says here. So he's just like holding it. They're like, "Oh my goodness!" And then they start hearing the noise. They're like, "We should get out of here." So they start actually walking away when that happens, and it like tries to pull them back. And they're like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, insane.
Yeah,
terrifying stuff. So
here they kind of do the same thing. They're like,
they start backing away. It would be cool to have seen like some sand blow into the pit, but it's fine. But then when they're backing away, he like lands on his backpack, and you hear a clang, and that's pretty similar to how it happens here.
No, he does not figure out he has it until he's talking to Hades, and Hades is like, "Hello, what's in your backpack?" And all that happens here is he's like, "I felt like it was heavier.
That's
like everything was heavier."
I knew that there was something, but it was just him feeling like it was heavier.
Yeah. So the difference, so what changes because of that? With them in the TV show going like, oh, we have the bolt. And this is where, like, he says we need to get this to Zeus. So in the TV show, they could have just left at that point and taken it to Zeus because they had it now.
Because they're not trapped. Because once you get in the Hades Palace, Hades is like, you're not going anywhere in the book.
But they had the pearls and they could have just left. So that could have happened. But instead, Grover says, like, you know what?
Zeus is going to
have to wait. We're going to go to your
line.
mom.
That's a great line.
So the difference, by doing it this way, they're showing that Grover is there. Like, you know, Grover, it's not just at this point, it's not just the quest of getting the bolt back. It's also.
Well, Grover's been on board with recovering the mom from day one.
Yeah.
Annabeth has not been, but.
I was just trying to think, like, why they would change that specific thing.
What if that was part of the reason why they had Annabeth leave? Wait, maybe they didn't want that kind of confrontation between Annabeth and Percy, where Annabeth's like, no, we got to get this thing back now. And Percy was like, no, I got to save my mom. Or they were worried that she would think of a logical plan where maybe they should split up. One of them should go return the bolt, while Percy and Grover, like, maybe they didn't want that to be an option because that would be like an easy resolve. Like, okay, well then one of you take back the bolt. Two of you go to get the mom.
But see, if that's really the big worry, they'd change all that instead of just having him discover the bolt in his backpack in front of Hades, because I don't see what difference it makes.
Because
are we just trying to show how much he loves his mom and he's going to rescue her?
No, because like the whole change of the whole storyline change where Percy's kind of only in this for his mom. You know what I mean? Like, he was refusing to go save the world until he knew he could save his mom. And then he wasn't really on board with the quest until like halfway through it. And again, that was only because Poseidon saved him. Mm-hmm. So I think that this is just continuing that same story. Like, they just want to keep on emphasizing that for him, this is not just about the quest. It's about his mom.
Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like the only reason they'd have to really push that fact is because they keep throwing these flashbacks that make it look like he didn't get along with mom very well. So, I mean, if they just skip, I mean, come on. Okay, never mind. Don't get me, I don't want to get going on that again. But yeah, so this is when they realize, oh, this is the bag that Ares gave me.
Right.
Aha. So they're realizing,
80s.
Okay.
It's Ares.
It's Ares.
It's 80s.
That's in the middle of this. Or
Hades and Ares. What I do.
Yeah. It's 80s.
It's 80s.
Yeah, and they realize it's not Hades. But they're going to Hades to get his mom.
No, they think they still don't get that it's Cronus. They say, oh, so Ares was helping Hades. That's what they say. So, oh, Ares was the one helping Hades, and then I think really? Percy's like, oh yeah, I guess so. So when they walk
that's why they didn't want Annabeth. Because
that's why they say
they don't want Annabeth to know that this is Tartarus, because it's Annabeth who knows that.
Right, because that's why that great line from Hades when he's like, I seldom cahoot, because they say to him, you're in cahoots with
that's right.
With Ares. So they still think it's Hades. Even after the Tartarus pit thing.
That makes it kind of dumb to bring the bolt to Hades' castle. I'm just saying. They're like, oh, Ares put it in this backpack so we can take it to Hades. Okay, let's go take it to Hades.
Yeah.
Okay, so
imagine just like throwing the bolt in Tartarus. Good luck, Zeus!
Oh my gosh, we would have gotten to the end of the world a lot faster that way.
Yeah. It's like, we're not going to bring this to Hades, we're just going to throw it in the pit.
Because we didn't know better.
Yeah.
We just thought it was a pit.
Annabeth wasn't here.
Oh my goodness.
Just kidding.
Okay.
Also, they don't show that he has the Helm of Darkness. When he pulls out the bolt, he doesn't pull out the Helm of Darkness.
Who?
Percy.
No, Percy never had the Helm of Darkness. It was Ares that had it. So remember, they go back
to
the...
yeah, you're right. Sorry.
They do show it to us. We need to watch that part again.
Yeah, because you're right. So when he's like,
you
have the bolt and you're coming here and accusing me. Sorry. In the book, Ares... Nope. In the book, Hades and Percy are talking. And Percy is like, give us the bolt. And Hades is like, oh my god.
Hades. You've got Hades going on here. It's great.
Anyways, Hades is like, how dare you come here and accuse me when you literally have the bolt in your backpack right now.
Exactly.
And Percy's like, excuse me? And then he's like, listen, you better return my Helm of Darkness. And then he's like, I swear, uncle, I swear I don't have it. But I know who does have it, and I promise I'm going to return it to you. And then Hades is like, seize them! And then they break the pearls. Right? Am I remembering all this?
I mean, that's a good summary of it all, yes.
Okay. Good, you're right. So he doesn't
There's lots of pages of this conversation.
He doesn't have it, but he knows where it is.
Yeah. Yeah, he suddenly has this realization, so your Helm of Darkness is missing. And Ares had us do this, and he suddenly realizes, like, okay, yeah, Ares obviously.
Do you think Ares was following them for longer of their quest with the Helm of Darkness?
Oh.
Do you think when the backpack reappeared, it wasn't because the backpack's magical, but because Hades? I mean,
Ares threw it on,
and he was like carrying it around invisibly.
I'm just wondering though if Ares you could even wear the Helm of Darkness.
What?
Remember? Well,
no, they can't steal another god's. Thing, but they can.
Does that
totally
mean that
use
Luke
it.
stealed both the Helm of Darkness?
Oh,
and
yes.
Okay.
But Hades didn't say anything. See,
that's right.
He says my helm also was lost that day, but I knew if I said anything that no one would believe me or whatever his concern was. He was like, I don't need other gods like knowing that I'm weak, or whatever his reason was.
Yeah, he said, I have said nothing of the helm's disappearance because I had no illusions that anyone on Olympus would offer me the slightest justice, the slightest help.
Like they just wouldn't
care. I can ill afford for word to get out that my most powerful weapon of fear is missing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So interesting. So I never really thought that through, even book wise. But yeah, so I don't know if Ares was just sneaking around following them like a little creep. I'm not sure. Sounds like something
he definitely do. So I'm pretty sure when they're on the beach and he talks about how he caught Luke, I'm pretty sure he says that, like, he took the helm as, like, payment for keeping it quiet. Because I'm sure Kronos wanted both the helm and the bolt. Right. Why else would he have Luke steal both? Like, he clearly wanted both of them.
Well, when I get that part in the book, I'll check it out.
Catches Luke, he probably was like, you know what? Fine. I mean, of course he's influenced by Cronus, but maybe to justify it to himself about why he's letting it go or whatever, he steals the helmet. Or he's like, this is mine now. But you can take the bolt wherever you want.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible. So, yeah, so they realize, okay, let's go get your mom. And that's kind of ends this sand pit scene.
Yeah.
Do you have any other notes on that scene?
No.
Okay, so we go into this flashback now where he's sitting in the cafe with his mom. And this is a very short one.
Yeah.
But it's just, she's saying, let's just give the place a chance.
Yeah. So clearly she's talked this principal into letting him go there, which is good because obviously his reasons were stupid, as we discussed. So she talked a little bit of sense into him, and this is now going to be Percy's new school. And she's being very sweet here. She's
trying. Like she said, I won't make you stay if you don't like it.
Yeah, she's just asking him to try it out and, whatever.
Yes, exactly.
And saying that this is their last, like, whatever moments together, because after this she's going to go back and drop him off, so she wants them to like end on a better note and not be fighting or not be upset at each other anymore. And then Percy says this line that is just like so heartbreaking, but also like mean, also
bratty.
Yeah,
the first part of it is heartbreaking and the second part of it is bratty. It's kind of like a mix.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's definitely hard to hear, but he was like, why are you trying so hard to get rid of me? I would never do this to you.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh. And Sally is, clearly.
Well, first of all, child. Of course you would never do that to her. You're the child. Yeah. She's the mom. Come on.
Yeah.
But second of all, I'm just going to say this and I'm not going to expound on it because I'm sure we all know how I feel about this relationship. That's not Percy.
But once again, he did say he was,
a brat as a kid.
Not an easy kid. He knew he wasn't easy.
And also the other thing too,
I don't know.
They are doing it from, I was listening to other couple, I always listen to other podcasts and what they say on these episodes. And they were pointing out that like we are getting possibly, even though these are quote unquote flashbacks, they might not be flashbacks for him.
It might be Sally's.
This is Sally's viewpoint. So we might be seeing more from her, what's really going on and how she's feeling and stuff, where Percy may not look back at it the same way.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I said that like last episode, like the rose-colored glasses thing. Like, of course, he loves very clearly in this season. Like, he does very clearly love his mom more than anything. That is like the whole point of this entire quest he's on. Like, that's not lost, and she clearly loves him more than anything too. Like the whole montage, everything that we get with them. And when she sacrifices herself.
I go so back and forth on it because, like, it's a child's book. Okay, it's a book that I've read a million times. And so, like, as a fan, like, I kind of just like what I had before and I don't like a lot of changes. So that's just, like, whatever. And I understand that this ideal of this, like, relationship of this mom and this son almost seems a little too good to be true. And that's kind of how I've always felt with it. I mean, I never felt that way, but like the way I see this relationship is just like this perfect relationship of mother and son. And maybe that's
but even when he
not
says
real
he
enough.
loves her more than anything and she never like yells whatever. In the very beginning of this book, when she sees him again, after he comes back from Yancey, and he's worried maybe she'll be a little bit mad because once again he, isn't going to be back at a school for the next year. When she's like hugging him and being like, "How are you?" and stuff, he's like, "Oh, Mom, get off me."
Yeah.
Like, so in his head, he's very much like, "I love my mom more than anything." But then when she hugs him, he's like, "Oh, Mom, you're smothering me."
Yeah.
Like, he's still a kid and he's still behaving
like a
kid.
But maybe he doesn't see himself really doing anything other than totally loving his mom. I guess so. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, in reality, this situation would make any sane mother stressed.
Yeah.
You have a child who could be being attacked by monsters at any time. Right. Different things are happening to him. You need to kind of keep him away. That's kind of her idea and her thought. Right. And if he is not cooperating... Okay, so I can agree with that. Okay. And I can't agree with the swimming scene, but I can agree with that.
Well, don't even start out with the swimming thing. Why can't Percy swim?
Yeah.
But I think that in the car, maybe she did get a little bit frustrated and her, her tone was sharp, but she didn't like full on yell at him.
Yeah, she was still trying.
And she didn't say, anything that she would like regret later. She didn't, like let whatever. She wasn't like, "God, you're the worst kid ever." Like, she really did keep it pretty mild.
Yeah, she
and
did.
Here, she's nothing but nice, and she just gets up and walks away.
She gets up and she kisses him on the top of the head. So even then, she has just been insulted. Yeah. And she's starting to cry.
Yeah.
And she gets up and she kisses him on the head. And
so
in that kiss, you can see her wanting to say, like, "I love you and you're still super important to me," but not being able to say anything because he literally just like sliced her.
It's just not the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was sad. I felt that.
I still think the Sally we love is there.
Okay.
And I know that, like, even in the Montauk scene and all the scenes that we have with her at the beginning, that she's not exactly the same. I won't say that she's exactly the same, but I don't think they're changing it
as much
as we might think, because you have to think about Percy's point of view.
Purpose of doing it, I guess.
I think that they just wanted more Sally.
Okay. They want more Sally.
Because we're not in Percy's head. That's the only reason I can give.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Well, that ends that scene, and that's going to be the end of what we're doing today.
Yeah, and then we'll get to meet Hades next. I will say, I'll never get over how funny that walk. Just the scene of him walking is like so far away, and there's just complete silence and just footsteps.
I have so many mixed feelings about Hades, but we will talk about it next time.
I know, I think I do too.
So, I have the general question that I would just love to hear actually our listeners.
What is Annabeth's biggest regret?
What is her biggest regret? And what was the reason for getting rid of her in that scene? I would love to know if anybody has any thoughts on that.
The Cronus thing makes the most sense.
Yeah, that could have been it. But do you have any other fun questions from these scenes we went over? We went over the flashbacks.
I guess, I don't know.
The asphodel.
We could ask, if everyone would prefer to go to the Isles of the Blessed or Elysium.
True, yeah. That's
if you had the option for both, which one would you prefer?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would just be worried that, because apparently you're supposed to, die, and then when you go back, you die, you do that, and you say, "Hey, I want to go back and be reborn." You don't remember anything.
No, you don't know.
So you have to be good to lifetime. I feel like, see, I believe in multiple lifetimes. So I feel like you would be like, I would be like, I did such a good job last lifetime. I'm going to actually be wild and crazy this lifetime. Just for some more fun.
Well, but
and then I'd mess it all up.
Wiped, you wouldn't even know that you did a good job.
I know, but I feel like inside my heart, I'd be ready for some wild stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, imagine you did 2 lifetimes, right? But you don't know that, and you go back and they're like, "So, would you like to try for the Isles of the Blessed?" Do they tell you that you only have one time left?
I bet you that they do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when you return, you remember.
Yeah, that you've done it already.
Yeah.
It would be interesting. I would like to know. I would like a pamphlet of
how this works. I want the rules.
No, I want a pamphlet like advertising Elysium and then advertising the Isles of Blessed. I want to know what the upgrades are.
I bet you the Isles of Blessed, you get personal massages, and there's like jacuzzis
you have like an
in every
attendant on
room.
duty.
You have an attendant on duty. In fact, it's because you know how the Fields of Punishment is supposed to be like whatever punishment that you specifically like. It mentions something like you could be stuck listening to opera all the time. Like if that's something to you, if that's like the worst thing to ever happen to you.
This
so what if someone like the worst
like
thing
tailored?
No, I was going to say. Oh, sure. I was going to say that's all the servants in the Isles of Blessed. Oh. I'm just sorry. Never mind. Okay. Someone's punishment.
I just imagine they're like wind spirits, but
that's
sure.
True. That'd be better. They'd be happy spirits. It'd be a better thing than having that as a punishment.
Yeah, because I feel like that's not very nice for the Isle of Blessed people. They're like, you probably wouldn't enjoy that, really.
Well, man, we're giving too many questions here, but I'd love to hear what people's ideas of what the Isles of Blessed is all about. By the way, it's BLEST.
So it's not
even
like
SSED.
It's not like that kind of blessed.
Well, it's got to be that kind of blessed.
Yeah, it must just be like a funny spelling, like an old-timey spelling or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, please send me the pamphlets.
Yeah, we want pamphlets.
Of the exact things that are offered at each place.
That's right.
Exactly. I want to know how much more work am I going to have to do and what is my reward for this?
What am I getting from it?
Yeah, is it really worth it?
That's the question. Okay, good.
You can follow our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Threads at Camp Comparisons Podcast. And then to design those pamphlets and then email them to us, you would email campcomparisons@gmail.com.
That's right. We can't wait to
Then we can make informed decisions.
Yes, we need to figure this out before we die.
Yeah.
All right. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. And remember, if you give us a 5-star rating, because of course you would, we will read it. If you do a review, we will read it on the podcast.
We will.
Okay. Until next time.
See you at camp. Bye.